Today on StampTV, I'm going to show you a fun 3D project that you can make using the brand new Birthday Essentials StampTV kit. You can also make this project using any pattern paper and stamps in your collection. Let me show you the tools and products you're going to need to make this project. First, you're going to need some patterned paper, and I'm going to use some of the patterned paper from the new Birthday Essentials StampTV kit. This is the Delicate Essentials. Now, if you want to make this project all one color, you would need 2 packages of our paper, but you can also alternate panels of coordinating patterns and colors to make the entire project just using one. The patterns that I'm going to use for my project are these 2 patterns from that pattern paper pack, and I am using 2 pattern paper packs for mine. Then for cardstock, you're going to need 8 panels of cardstock, and this cardstock measures 4 1/4 inches by 5 inches. So you want to cut 8 of these, and you can get 8 of these out of 2 sheets of 8 1/2 by 11 cardstock. Then you're going to need some ribbon, and I'm using our 3/8 of an inch gingham ribbon, but you can use any ribbon you want to use in your collection. Then you're going to need an alcohol marker in black. Now, if you're going to choose a different color combination, whatever the base color of your cardstock is, that's the color of the marker that you should use. So if you're going to use dark chocolate or you're going to use navy, then choose a coordinating alcohol marker. And you can use either the Spectrum Noir markers, like I'm using, the True Black, or you can use Copic markers. You can even use Sharpies for this. Then you're going to need a scoring device, and I'm using my Score Buddy. You're also going to need some scissors and some adhesive. Now, I'm using the mono adhesive, but I will recommend that if you plan to use these things for long-term use, I would use something a little bit stronger than this, possibly some score tape or some red line tape. And then you're going to use an empty Kleenex box or any kind of square tissue box. Now, I am not 100% sure if all square tissue boxes are the same size, but I do know that the project that I'm making works with a Kleenex box. So you might want to get the Kleenex brand tissues if you're going to use these measurements. However, it's very easy to take a ruler and measure. You may even want to use a larger tissue box. Now, I've made tissue box storage units before, but the measurements for this one and the way I'm upholstering it is a lot easier for this one, so I thought I would show you how I do this. The first thing that you want to do is you want to get a good pair of scissors, and you want to cut to the corner on the top of each of the 4 sides. In my last project, I took the box completely apart and then put it back together, and that's not really that necessary unless you're upholstering the inside, which I'm not doing for this. This is going to be a stamp room box, and I just want it to look pretty on the outside. So now you can see I'm just cutting those away, those 4 corners. Pretty easy to do. And if the box is kind of coming apart a little bit, that's okay because you are going to secure the whole thing with ribbon. But if you want, you can add a little bit of score tape, red line tape, mono adhesive to kind of secure things back together again if you feel that you need to. Okay, so you're going to cut, let me get this out of the way, you're going to cut 4 panels of black cardstock that look like this for the sides. And then you're going to cut 4 panels of patterned paper that are 1/8 of an inch smaller than that. So this piece measures 4 1/4 across. This one is going to measure 4 1/8. This one is 5 inches tall, and this one is going to be 4 7/8 inches tall. Now, you're going to adhere the panels of patterned paper onto the panels of cardstock. And you're going to do 4 of these. And then just layer those together like that. Okay. So I have 4 of them all done here. And what you're going to do next is grab that marker and grab the chisel end side. And the good thing is that most of our alcohol markers, other than Sharpies, have a chisel end. So you just want to color along the bare edges that could possibly show through to make sure that they are going to be the same color as your cardstock. And you don't have to be fancy about this because this is all going to get covered up with cardstock. Some people like to paint the boxes first, and if you like to paint and you have some nice paints to use, you certainly can do that too. You can paint the box first and just put the pattern paper on even. But I like using the cardstock because it does kind of stiffen up the box a little bit and makes it a little bit more secure. So again, I'm not doing anything to the bottom. If you wanted to upholster the bottom, you certainly could, but I upholster the bottoms if I'm giving it to somebody as a gift. If I'm not giving it to somebody as a gift, I don't worry about it because I'm not going to see the bottoms when they're sitting on my shelf. But we all like our gifts to look perfect. So, almost done this. You just really want that black to just kind of seep a little bit over the edges. And it is kind of messy. If you get it on your hands, a little bit of rubbing alcohol or even the colorless blender pen will help get it off. Also, hand sanitizer works very well to get alcohol markers off of your skin. And your work surface too. Okay, so we have all 4 of those done. That didn't take too long. I have a piece of a pop dot in there. Okay, so now we're going to grab one of those panels and apply some of this mono adhesive onto it. And then adhere it to the side. Like that. And then we're going to do that to all 4 sides. This is a very quick little project, and what I like about it is you can make all of these little storage units to match your stamp room, or if you want to use them in your office on your desk, you can make them match your office or your kitchen. You can do them in any colors that you want. And it's a really neat way to upcycle a tissue box. Helps to save the planet, and it gives you some storage units that are very, very good size for stampers and scrapbookers. All right, and there is the last one. So now we have the 4 sides of the box. Now our next step is to grab the scoring device, and again, using these same 4, another set of 4 sheets of cardstock the same size, 4 1/4 inches by 5 inches. You're going to score all 4 of them at 2 1/2 inches. Like that. Now you're going to take pattern paper that measures 4 1/8 inches long, and then you're going to cut these 1/8 of an inch past the 2 1/2 inch mark. So that will be 2 3/8 of an inch. And you're going to adhere all of these onto one side of these panels, like that. Then these panels can all be folded in half, and I made 4 of them, so you didn't have to sit through me taping them over and over again. And then if you really want to make sure that they're folded well, you can hold them down and then use the tool to really flatten out that score line. And that might be a good thing to do with some of the thicker cardstocks. This way the tape will hold a little bit better if you really, really press down that score line, that fold. Okay, so now we have these, and we're going to attach these onto the box. And I'm going to do that the same way with mono adhesive. Again, you can use red line tape or score tape if you want a much tighter bond. And these are going to just go right inside the box, up to the top, and down like that. And that kind of finishes off this top part. So we're going to do the same thing 3 more times. I like to add that little extra bit of tape right at the top to help keep it closed. We can match them all up. There's the second one. And we'll do the third one. These are actually very fun to do, and it's really neat to see the way the patterns work together. Once again, do one over here. There's that one. And we'll do this last one. And that one will go right on here. There we go. And if you have any little bits of the original color of the Kleenex box, just go in there with your marker and touch it up. All right, now the next step is to add some ribbon. So I'm going to add some of our black gingham ribbon, and let's unroll this a little bit and we'll just measure it. Go right around the box. Find that center point and trim. Then some of you may want to actually take long strips of score tape or red line tape around the whole thing. That's fine, you can do that. I'm going to use mono adhesive right down this whole strip of ribbon. That's pretty sticky. Okay. And then I'm going to choose a side that's going to be the front of my box. It's going to be this side right here. And I'm going to start right in the middle. Tape that. Tape that. And you want to make sure that they meet where you want them to meet before you really press down. See, I feel like that's a little bit low, so I'm going to just bring it up a little bit more. There. Now you can press everything down so it sticks. Okay, now I'm going to trim off that overlap. Now I made a little embellishment to cover that raw edge, and what I've done here is I've taken one of our wooden buttons and I just tied a little bit of baker's twine through it in black. And then I put I used 1 1/2-inch pop dot. I cut it in half and put half on the top, half on the bottom, and that is just going to go right over that raw edge, like that. And there is a little embellishment. And you can see how cute this little box looks. Now I want to show you another one that I did. Super easy to do. I want to show you another one that I did, and I used different pattern paper from the same kit. This is from the same Delicate Essentials pattern paper pack. And then I stamped the flower and the leaves and cut those out with the dies that come in the Birthday Essentials kit, and just used 1/4-inch pop dots to pop those on. And I did add one of those pretty little flourishes from our Flourish die, the mini Flourish die. And I wanted to show you how nice these embossing folders fit in there. So you can use these for your embossing folders. You can use these for small stamp sets or die storage. Then if you want to get kind of fancy, you can take paper towel rolls and cut them up into 4s and just put some tape around them. And then you can drop that inside. And what that will do is that will create a few compartments. So this way, if you put your scissors in one and then you put some markers in another one, everything isn't holding itself all together. So when you pull a few markers out, the scissors won't fall and the other markers won't fall. And that's just a way to repurpose some of those inside of the paper towel holders. I know some people use toilet paper. Some people aren't big on that. They don't like to use the inside of toilet paper, but that's totally up to you. You could probably fit 1 or 2 more in there, but I only had 1 spare roll. So that will allow me to put my yellow markers in one, my blue markers in one, my green markers in one, and kind of keeps them separated within the box and keeps them standing when I pull a few things out. So this is my finished project. I'll let you look at it up close here, and that one. And they sure are super fun to make. I hope you've enjoyed today's StampTV project. Stay tuned to StampTV for lots more cards and projects featuring the new Birthday Essentials StampTV kit.